Hello family, and welcome back to our wild Ohio. Today we are exploring the narrow-leaved cattail. Scientific name Typha angustifolia, also known as bulrush or reed mace. Native Americans used the entirety of the narrow-leaf cattail for food, medicine, and practical tools, highlighting its utility as an abundant wetland resource. One particularly resourceful use is as a reliable survival plant, as nearly every part of the plant can be consumed for nourishment, although their ability to absorb toxins from polluted water means they should only be harvested from clean areas. This member of the cattail family is a perennial, meaning its lifespan is longer than 2 years, and it could be found throughout most of the United States and Canada. They produce thousands of wind-dispersed seeds that can remain viable for up to 100 years. They thrive in both fresh and brackish water. This species of cattail forms dense colonies because it possesses allelopathic properties that discourage the growth of other plant species. The plant grows in a habitat of marshes, ditches, and wet places to a height of 4 to 8 feet, and has brownish flowers that are in bloom from May to July. The flowers have parts indistinguishable, and they grow in a dense, cylindrical spike about 1/2 inch in diameter. The upper and lower parts of the spike are usually separated by a distinct gap, and the spike has 2 types of flowers. The upper flowers are the staminate, and the lower are the pistillate. The plant has alternate leaves, and the leaves are entire, green, rounded on the back, and not over 1/2 inch wide. Cattails are suspected of poisoning grazing animals, but are commonly foraged by humans. Be careful of lookalikes, such as daffodils or irises. As for the plant's nutritional value, the shoots contain vitamins K and B6, and minerals such as iron, phosphorus, calcium, sodium, magnesium, potassium, and manganese. The green flower heads and pollen have essential fatty acids, calories, and protein, and in springtime you could harvest the young shoots. The young shoots can be easily pulled from the rootstock. Peel the leaves down to the tender white core and eat it raw, cooked like asparagus or pickled. In springtime you can also harvest the young stalk. The young stalks between 2 and 3 feet high can be prepared the same way as the shoots. In late spring, the green, immature flower spikes can be gathered before they emerge from the sheath of leaves. Boil for a few minutes, serve with butter, and eat like corn on the cob. In early summer, the flower spikes produce a bright yellow pollen that could be gathered by shaking the heads in a bag. Sift the pollen through a strainer and mix with a wheat flour about a 50/50 mix. Be sure to dry the pollen thoroughly before storing. The small, foreign-shaped sprouts can be gathered in late summer. These sprouts can be found at the tip of the long rootstock and remain throughout the winter. They can be eaten raw, added to salads, or boiled for 10 minutes and served with butter, also in early spring before they break through the surface of the mud. They can be gathered together with peeled oil briefly and pickled in hot vinegar. All year, the starchy core at the base of each sprout can be prepared like the potato. From fall to early spring, you could harvest the rootstock. The shallow buried rootstock is filled with starch and can be made into a white flour. Wash the rootstocks thoroughly. Peel the outer core to reveal the starchy core, and crush the core in a pail of cold water, separating the starch from the fibers. Remove the fibers and allow the starch to settle. Repeat this process 1 or 2 more times, and you will have a flour that you can use immediately or dried for future use. The juice or jelly has also been extracted from the rootstocks. The Hopi chewed the mature heads with tallow as a gum, and the Pima Indians used the pollen to make a flour and baked it into a brownish biscuit. The pollen was also mixed with ground wheat and then stirred into boiling water and eaten as a roll, and the tender white stalks were eaten raw. Medicinally, American Indians, such as the Malachite and Micmac Indians, made an infusion of the roots, and according to Western herbal medicine, the medicinal part is the root. Its actions are astringent, emollient, and antimicrobial. It was used for dysentery, diarrhea, gonorrhea, and infantile summer complaints. Externally, the root was combined with elm and other aromatics to make a poultice for swellings, tumors, and ulcers. The roots can also be bruised until they become like a jelly and applied to burn scalds and local inflammations. As for the plant's other uses, the mescalero apache used cattail pollen as a general curative agent in rituals. However, narrow-leaf cattail have not been used as much as its counterpart Typha, also known as common cattail. For buoyancy, some tribes bound bundles of reeds into tule boats. The leaves were also used as a caulking material. That being said, the flower stalks were split, dried, and used for basket weaving. The green leaves were woven into roofs and mats, and the silky down was used as a stuffing and pillows. This plant has been associated ceremoniously with water and the dry yellow. Pollen was used to decorate the face, chest, and back as a body decoration. And of course, the silky down could be used in a bird's nest to start a fire, and the heads could be dipped in oil and used as a torch. Some have even used the stalk as an arrow shaft. Some groups, like the Chippewa, made simple floating duck toys and dolls by folding the leaves. Waterfowl use the stems for nesting cover, and muskrats and beavers eat the rootstocks and young shoots. Fish use cattails for shelter, spawning, and as a source of food for their prey. The dense stalks provide hiding places for small fish from predators and act as ambush points for larger fish. The plant's roots also provide habitat for the aquatic insects and grubs that many fish consume. Additionally, some fish, like northern pike, may use the fringes of cattail beds for nesting. Well, this brings us to the end of another episode, my friends. It's always a pleasure to share this journey with you, and I truly hope you found some valuable insights along the way. If you'd like to stay connected, I invite you to join our family by signing up for our newsletter at ourwildohio.com, so we can keep you up to date on everything we have planned. Also, it helps support the channel and doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us more than you know. We're also dropping bombs of knowledge over on Instagram, TikTok, and X, so don't miss out on the unique content that you'll only see there. Now get out there and enjoy our wild Ohio, and until we meet again, stay wild, my friends. Thank you for watching Our Wild Ohio. It's support from viewers like you who make it all possible. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. Join our family and become a member of Our Wild Ohio by visiting the link in the description below. And until we meet again, stay wild, my friends.